Liz asks, what are the most important skills for a student to acquire if they want a successful career in fintech in general and within your specialization? Well, first, for context, I'm going to approach this question from the perspective of being a digital anthropologist that for the past 20 plus years has been studying the intersection of marketing, sales, technology, and human behavior. And for a student that wants to have a successful career in fintech, I'd say there are really three key components, really patterns that I've picked up from both educating and coaching, as well as listening to and learning from top fintech leaders around the world over the last 2 decades. Remember, number one, that fintech is more than just about financial technology. At its deepest core level, fintech is about finances. It's about money. And money is a very emotional subject for many people. In fact, technology, when we think about fintech, technology is nothing more than a tool to guide people, to connect with people, to connect them with their money, and to provide them with insight, to provide them with guidance, to provide them with recommendations, to help them get from point A to point B on their own financial journey. To move beyond financial stress that is taking a toll on their health, on their relationships, on their well-being. And this brings us to point number 2, which I say is to develop, to continuously develop and increase your EQ as well as your AQ. You see, when we're thinking about EQ, and we must remember that money is emotional, EQ, or emotional intelligence, is what helps us to put people at the center of all of our thinking, the center of all of our doing. And at the same time, when we put people at the center of our thinking, and we put people at the center of what we do, human behavior can be very complex. It can be very confusing, which is why not only is it important to increase one's EQ, it's just as important, it's equally as important for one to increase their AQ, which is their adaptability quotient. In fact, I believe that EQ plus AQ is greater than IQ alone in the age of AI. And that brings us to point number 3 here, which is really about tying this all together, connecting us back to the previous point around AQ, and that is to be a lifelong learner. I share this as more of a warning. Don't ever fall in love with what you do, because what you do has the potential, now more than ever before, to be commoditized in the age of AI. Instead, I see the greatest opportunity going forward is to fall in love with learning. And the best way to learn is to ensure that you are creating space and time to break free from what you are doing, to pause, to review, to reflect on what you have done so that you can learn through experience, so that you can learn through even failure, because failure, even though sometimes in the present moment failure can feel very painful, failure, I have personally experienced to be the best teacher on my own personal journey of growth. And so we can transform failure into lessons learned. We can learn through reading. We can learn through watching. We can learn through listening. And this is where I see that there is an opportunity to increase our learning, to take care of both our mind and our body at the same time. Listen to podcasts while you are running. Listen to podcasts while you're riding, and you're getting a doubling effect here, almost an exponential effect to learning when you're taking care of your mind, when you're taking care of your body. And then finally, create the space and time to think about what you've learned, because it's through that taking time to think, that's where you can identify patterns to do even better going forward into the future, to apply that knowledge, to apply those insights, to apply the wisdom that you gained. In fact, if we think about wisdom in the age of AI, we can fall back to the I think it was Socrates when he shared that wisdom, the definition of wisdom is knowing that I know nothing. I think that's an important aspect for any fintech leader going forward in a future where change is going to be exponential because of AI technologies. And if we do this, if you do this, if you make a commitment to go through, to repeat this pattern at least once every 90 days, to review what you've done, to learn, to think, and then to do even better, I promise you that you will achieve exponential growth as you move forward on your own fintech career.